announced if she had ever seen Downton Abbey. She'd never even heard the title. She said, "What are you talking about?" For those of us who don't know Downton Abbey, was a British TV series about a wealthy family and their servants in Edwardian England. It began in 1912 with the sinking of the Titanic, and the heirs to Downton Abbey were killed on the ship, and so they're looking to see who the next heir was going to be. It's a very, very classy, beautifully done soap opera. It literally is a soap opera. I mean, it just, I was addicted. How many people here were addicted? Oh my gosh. I went into withdrawal when the show ended. I was just so sad when Downton Abbey was over. Sunday was Sunday, during the day it was wonderful, but I was like, oh my gosh, I get to watch Downton Abbey tonight. So Lord and Lady Grantham have 3 daughters, Mary, Edith, and Sybil. Mary's the oldest, she's the grandest. Sybil is the young modern suffragette feminist. And Edith is, is there a picture up there? Edith is the Jan Brady of the family. She's the middle daughter and not as conventionally pretty as the other 2 were. And she's always trying to find her place in life. It never really seemed to work. Mary was always needling her, always putting her down. She tried to find a man but never succeeded in getting one until this one older man agreed to marry her. Well, let's just take a look at a couple of minutes from this, for those of you who don't know it, and to catch you up for those of you who have seen this. It's a mute down the bottom there. This is the meditation part. Breathe in, breathe out.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered.
I can't do this. What? I can't do it. You know it's wrong. You told me so yourself several times. My dear Gianna. I never should have let it get this far. I should have stopped it long ago. I tried to stop it.
What are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying.
Edith. I can't let you throw away your life like this.
What do you mean? We're so happy, aren't we? We're going to be so terribly, terribly happy.
But you are going to be happy. I pray that you are. But only if you don't waste yourself on me.
Anthony, it is too late for this. Might I suggest we all take a step back?
No, let him go. Let him go. You know he's right. Don't stop him doing the only sensible thing he's come up with in months.
Thank you, Lady Grantham.
Granny!
No, no, it's over, my dear. Don't drag it out. Wish him well. And let him go.
I can't.
Goodbye, my dearest darling. And may God bless you. Always.
How many people has that happened to? and you found each other too. That's funny. Poor Lady Edith. She tried everything in her life to make it work and never really did. She tried to find her career. Nothing worked out. She was a driver in World War I. She was a nurse's aide. She was a farmhand at one point. Even her own mother and father discussing the lack of her success in life said, well, it appears that Edith will be the one to take care of us in our old age. Since it didn't appear that anything good was going to happen for her in that lifetime. When she tried to share her feelings of despair that anything good was ever going to happen for her, her grandmother, Maggie Smith, responded, "Don't be defeatist, dear, it's very middle class." One day at Barnes & Noble on Fifth Avenue in New York, Julian Fellowes, the creator and writer of the show, was approached by a woman with tears flowing down her face, her lip trembling. And she said to him, "Just let Lady Edith be happy." He thought, isn't that astonishing that a show like this would reel people in? It's because it does touch something within us. There's a truth to the characters. We, like Lady Edith, we kind of feel like celestial orphans, if you will. Why am I here? These are questions we ask ourselves. Is life a cosmic accident best not to think about at all? What is the purpose of my life if I can't have a wonderful, fun, exciting, creative life to do the work that I'm here to do? Will you always be the bridesmaid who finally gets to the altar and they get dumped? The truth is, we've been listening to the world's definition of us way too much. Rather than listening to spirit within us tell us who and what we are. The world is telling us we are less than beautiful, less than talented, less than successful, less than healthy, that we are less than belonging. Instead of believing the divine truth that we are powerful spiritual beings with everything that we need within us to live the life that we came to live. If we're acting like Lady Edith, choosing a defeatist role that we have decided to play over and over again, it's one that we have chosen based on misinformation. Information from the world around us rather than information from spirit within. If the planet keeps saying, "Poor you, what a shame, good things don't happen for you," you have to raise yourself up. I have to raise myself up and declare, I am God's wonderful creation. I am God's wonderful creation. Together? I am God's wonderful creation. I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am. Breathe that in. And tell everybody, take a hike if they don't see that too. If people don't see how marvelous and how glorious you are, let them go. If we choose to play the role of celestial orphan, the universe is not going to interfere with whatever acting role we choose to play out. Because you're powerful, you have selected the role that you want to play, or, more precisely, the one that your family, society, and others have assigned to you. And we took up that when we left home. We continued to play the same role unless we went, I need to do this differently. So are you a victim or are you a victor in life? Do you believe that God is stronger than your fears? Do you believe that God is stronger than your challenges? Do you believe that nothing is impossible for spirit within you to bring forth? Do you deserve the good waiting for you? That's a really big question all of us have to ask. Do I believe that I deserve the good? I gave a Christmas gift a few years back to a dear friend who was in Unity. And she opened the gift and it was like she received a shock. She said, "Oh no, you shouldn't have. It's too much trouble. Really, you're spoiling me." I'm like, if you don't want it, I'll take it. I gave her a gift certificate to Saks Fifth Avenue. And she acted like I shot her. It's like, well, give it back and I'll have fun. You know, God knows I don't want you to feel bad, so hand it over and then we'll both feel good. And then she said, "Oh my gosh, you're right. Why did I react that way? She's not alone. We do that. What's being said here is a real shocking indication that we've been trained to accept crumbs, and anything more than that is really difficult to take. What a beautiful sweater. I'd look great in this. How dare you give me something good like this? Who do you think you are? Have you ever said any of these phrases? Oh, you shouldn't have. Stop saying that. Because what we're saying, not only are we saying it to the person who loves us, who gave us a gift, we're then telling the universe we shouldn't have this. If you do use any of these phrases, stop that right now. Cut it out. Watch the words you're saying. If somebody gives you something, and over again, I see this in Unity. I give somebody something and they go, oh no, I can't, I shouldn't, oh my gosh. The only correct phrase for a Unity student to say is, I accept my good. Thank you. That's it. I accept my good. Together. I accept my good. Thank you. There's a native culture in Africa, someone, and I can't remember exactly where, but when somebody compliments anybody in the tribe, their response is, they pat their heart and they say, thank you, that's right. That's right. Yes. So it says, you're a really good singer, you really play the good. That's right, thank you. Not that, no. What's all that about? It's, yes, I do. Thank you for noticing. That's great. Thank you. If you say anything that's negative and self-defeating and gift-denying, what other messages are we sending to the universe? We say, I want this good, but what are we telling the universe instead? Every word we utter comes from what we believe about ourselves and our capacity to receive the good the universe is longing to flow through us. In Matthew 15, Jesus taught us it isn't what goes into our mouth that weakens us, it's what comes out of our mouth. It's the words we're using over and over again that weaken this system. If somebody attacks you physically or verbally, they're really attacking themselves, and I think that's really important to remember. They're working their stuff out on you, but my job and your job is to not take it personally, as the Four Agreements says. This is not my stuff, they're working it out on you, and just say, okay, that's fine, but I don't take this within as a verdict of my life or who I am. People who are attacking are diminishing themselves. But we learned an error early in life that this is my fault. When the adults in our lives begin to tell us something that is not the truth, we take that as true. Children, we blame ourselves for everything, from divorce to the parents not getting along. Everything that happens is our fault. But it isn't. Child abusers are primarily abused children themselves, working out their stuff, and maybe they worked it out on you. Spousal abusers grow up with that behavior in their own families that have been modeled for them, and the only way a lot of people can express their feelings is to work it out on other people. Children of alcoholics often find alcoholics as mates in their adult life because that was their training. These are the people we love, and God help us. Years ago, I did counseling for a woman. She said, every time I get married, well, that's an interesting way to begin any phrase. Every time I get married, it turns out that they're alcoholics. It's a very simple question. I said, where do you meet these men? In the bar! Like, we don't see the forest for the trees. When I said maybe something else, Match.com would be a good idea, she went, I never thought about that before. Stop meeting people in bars if you don't want to be with drinkers. That's a good beginning. That's a very good beginning. Parents train us to be gracious and unselfish by refusing something a few times before we accept it. And then we go out in the world and sometimes they don't offer the second time. Like, hey, that's not the game. Play it one more time and there goes our good. And it comes out that when the good is handed to us, what do we say? Oh, you shouldn't have. Which means I don't deserve it. We're not being polite. We're telling the universe, we're telling everybody, I don't deserve this. And the subconscious, not knowing we're just being polite, takes these words as gospel truth. And the subconscious begins to work on our lives, and we wonder why the good I'm looking for is not showing up. And then every area of our lives is affected by pushing all that abundance away over and over again. And then we end up saying things like, my new job doesn't pay me very much, or the bills never seem to get met. I would have just a few dollars left at the end of the month. Or, gee, when one pain goes, another one comes. There are no nice men or women anywhere in D.C. for me to meet. And on it goes. We begin to play the celestial orphan. Nothing is good, no one's here for me, and life is terrible. I don't even know why I come or get up on Sunday morning anymore. If we're unwilling to speak the truth and accept our good when it unfolds for us in small and large ways, we shouldn't be surprised when it is bypassing us altogether. You're a powerful divine being, and we tell God over and over again, take it away. We don't mean to, but that's what we're saying. A friend of mine in Los Angeles convinced an actor friend of his from Philadelphia to move in with him to pursue his career in films. For a year, my friend would tell him, you're going to love it here. All of your friends are here. You know you want to be here, so come on, come down. What are you waiting for? And his friend had the same old tune every time he talked to him. LA is unsafe, it's scary, it's too unwieldy to drive around, it's too weird, I'll be ripped off. Yammer. Finally, after much prodding by all of his friends, he says, okay, fine. He rents a U-Haul, and he moves across the country. He pulls up to my friend's apartment building, goes inside to freshen up, and he comes out to unload the truck, and the truck is gone. Nowhere to be found. Someone has stolen the truck with every bit of his earthly possessions. LA is unsafe, and I'll be ripped off. The universe heard and said, okay, weird prayer, but let's go with it. These are your words, and this is your reality, and the universe isn't going to get in the way of what we keep affirming with power over and over again. Our words go forth to do the work we sent them forth to do. And of course, the self-fulfilling prophecy became the awful truth that he knew in his heart the whole time. The next day he flew home and he never returned to Los Angeles ever again. What are we speaking that we just assume is true? Hey, Paul, I'm not creating it, I'm just reporting it. I didn't make this up, I'm just telling you what's happening. Well, if we want something else to happen, we got to say something else. We can't keep affirming the same thing over and over and over again and hoping that we're going to get a different result. I have 3 colds a year. I can't tell you how many people tell me, I get sick every year, 3 times, every winter. I always have since I'm a child, and I'm just built that way. My 2 other sisters are prettier and more clever, and I'll settle for an elderly man that nobody else wants. Because Lady Edith, and then what happens? He dumps her. I'm getting older, so of course, nobody's going to hire me. Let's affirm that together. No. We do. We affirm all these awful things when we're home. There's just too many obstacles getting in the way for me to fill in your own blank. Why bother? The key to our happiness, the key to our health and prosperity and joy and love-filled life is to affirm, to declare, to shout out powerfully, enthusiastically, and with passion only the good that we're looking for. What we're looking for is what we are telling the universe and implanting in these universal ethers, if you will, to use an old term, over and over and over again. And the universe will bring back to us what we are saying over and over and over again. Live in the now, not the future, not in the past. God doesn't work in the future. God doesn't work with what if. There is no such thing as what if. God doesn't work in the past. The past is over. It's gone. Let it go. Quit replaying it in the YouTube of your mind over and over and over again. Give thanks for the lessons learned, and then let it go. Open yourself to new energy, new prospects, and new success waiting just for you. Again, God can only work in the here and now. God can only do for you what God can do through you. God can only do what we allow God to do. So what am I telling the universe over and over again that I'm looking for, that I am accepting in my life? And the flow of God is only as unlimited as I allow it to be. So how do we do this? How do we then bring forth this God energy I'm looking for? One of the divine powers that we have in unity, we believe we have 12, at least 12 divine powers. One of them is the power of elimination, of letting go of what doesn't work for us. So beginning today, not tomorrow, not 12:01 on Thursday, but now let go of the talk that limits the flow of God in and through you. No more belittling this child of God that you are, and no more saying lies like, I don't deserve my good, I don't deserve Newhouse Belgian chocolate. Hershey's is fine. Now, if you like Hershey's or Bosco, great. Nobody's saying not to have it. But if you desire something more, something different, then affirm this is coming into your life. When you affirm something that you love or desire or just want to have fun, like Jesus changing water into wine, you begin to see it. You begin to have it. It begins to flow more and more. It's the same with our health. I always get 3 colds a year. Is there an owner's manual that you have somewhere that says you always get 3 colds a year, you have to get 3 colds? That's a belief. That's simply a belief. Did Jesus say, take up your bed and walk? Oh, I'm sorry, it's January, I forgot. You get a cold, lie down again, I'll come back in February. No, of course not. He said, do you want to be healed? He always threw it back to the person. Is this really what you want? Is this your desire? Because I can't do anything. I can't help facilitate this unless you are in agreement with it. Your faith has made you whole, daughter. Do you want to be a success? Do you want a mate in your life? Maybe you don't, and that's okay. My friends always say, why do you always tell people they have? I'm not. That was her little projection. If you want the mate, you can have one. If you don't want one, you don't have to have one. It's about what makes you happy. Do you want peace in your life? There's a musical called Falsettos, and there's a wonderful line that says, of all the great lesser passions, we like fighting most. And that's true for a lot of people. They wouldn't talk at all if they weren't arguing. Is that you? Is that something that you can let go of in your life? Release and eliminate every and any thought contrary to the power and presence of God's perfection within you, of God's goodness, of strength, of wholeness, of the vibrant light and life that is your essence. Our older brother was right. We put a bushel over ourselves. We dim our light. We don't shine forth because we don't quite believe that we are that powerful. As I mentioned earlier, we have to eliminate the false notion that it's my fault that I was abused, or that my parents divorced, or that my family drank, or that I didn't live up to the expectation of what somebody in my family is supposed to do. Perhaps you're an artist and you're come from a family of lawyers or doctors. And you feel, oh gosh. Well, this is your divine calling, to be the artist that you are. And you make your family way more interesting than if you weren't in it. So embrace that artist that you are. Embrace the good that you are. And let yourself off the hook. Forgive yourself today. Forgive yourself what you think you didn't do or what you did. We're all on the path to discovering who and what we are. And making mistakes is part of it. You're a whole, complete, and marvelous creation of God just as you are. Any other thought is an error of thought and doesn't come from God truth. So in the last series of Downton Abbey, Lady Edith inherits a magazine from her fiancé who disappears in pre-Nazi Germany. Don't ask, you have to watch the whole thing. So she gets the magazine and she becomes the editor, and she's really good at it. And you begin little by little to see that Edith is awakening to her power. And because there's a little bit of awakening, then the universe was able to move into her life. A man she thought was quite lovely and quite nice, and it turns out that he was a very, very, very wealthy marquis. And she becomes the wealthiest member of the whole family. So wonderful, wonderful ending. So the woman at Barnes & Noble got her wish. Lady Edith has a happy life after all, and so do you. So take a breath, go to your heart. As we turn within, we sing our wonderful song, meditation song. Our thoughts, our prayers. If you want to see the words, they're on the screen behind me. And if you know them, just hold them in your heart. Breathe out. Breathe light. Breathe love. As I turn within and tune out the planet, I listen to the voice of spirit within. I remember who I am. I am spirit. I am light. I am life. I am good. I am one with God. I am, as we were taught, the light of the world. Breathe that light in. Let it fill every cell, every tissue, every part of your being. Keep breathing that light. It gets brighter, stronger, warmer. From the top of your head down to your toes. Light is what we are. As we focus on our heart, we quietly affirm and know that God is here right now. My perfect health is unflowing. Every cell, every muscle, every breath is filled with the healing love of God. I am filled with the healing love of God. Breathe that in and let go. If there's any pain or discomfort anywhere in the body, direct your energy there. Feel that warmth, that light, that power. I am filled with the healing love of God. We also know quietly within, the abundant good of God is always present. I live, move, and have my being in divine abundance. There is no lack for any creation spirit. All the good I need is here as I call it forth and change my words from lack to overflowing good. My abundant good is here now. My perfect mate is here. My perfect home is here. My perfect work is here. Friends and family are loving, kind, supportive. And those who aren't, gently step back. I accept only good today. As we enter the silence, just for a few moments, I allow Spirit to reveal all of this to be my truth. That God is here. God is at work. God's got this. Breathe in and let go. One brief moment in the silence is all it takes for God to work. But I have to be willing to allow Spirit to move through me. Today I give God permission to do God's perfect work in and through me and my life. Take a breath. Bring your sense of awareness back into this time, this place. And as we do, we sing our way back with the greatest thing in all my life is loving you.